Good morning, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. All right, let's make sure that we're all set up. It's a bit shiny over there. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Hello. Welcome to my zero waste journey. Today we're going to talk about, I'm Marissa Roberts, if you haven't met me before, and we are live. We are live today. I wanted to do this video for you, but I only have a little bit of time, so I don't have time to do a fancy edited video, but I wanted to chat to you about something that I've wanted to chat about for a few weeks now and just never seem to find the time to sit down and do it. So today is the day. We're going to talk about a recent hotel stay that I took. Just slowly clearing up clutter while I chat. Recent hotel stay that I went on. It was a zero waste hotel stay. Now, it was just a regular overnight trip. It wasn't specifically for zero waste reasons. But because I was going on an overnight trip by myself, I didn't have the kids with me. I really wanted to see how zero waste I could make it. And yeah, so it went pretty well. I was pretty proud of myself. There were a lot of little niggly difficulties though. So I wanted to chat with you about what I did, how I went zero waste on my overnight hotel stay, what were the problems that came up, and how I dealt with them. And I'm hoping that this helps you if you want to go on an overnight stay somewhere and you're worried about how to go plastic free or zero waste or less waste, then I thought this video might help you out as well. It's just a real life experience. I'm just going to keep it completely real. Nothing fancy. I basically used most stuff that I had at home with me, and yeah. Anyway, let's officially begin. So yeah, if you haven't met me before, my name's Marissa Roberts. I have a website at beautifulyorganized.com, and I'm a really big fan of simple living, sustainability, slowing down and enjoying your life, especially if you're a parent of young children, because life goes by so fast, and often you find as a parent that you're kind of like working like a dog throughout the day. It's like a hard slog to get through every day. And I really want people to be able to slow down a little more, not worry so much about money, not worry so much about doing things perfectly, and just enjoy life. But over the past year or so, I've had this real awakening in terms of sustainability, environmental stuff, eco-friendly stuff. My friend Rachel from Raid My Wardrobe has been a big influence there, and then it just kind of took off. And zero waste is like a pet passion of mine now, so I'm really keen to keep that going. So yeah, if you haven't been to the website before, just head over to beautifulyorganized.com. Organised has an S instead of a Z. There's always a freebie there for you that you can sign up for. I think at the moment the biggest one that we're running is how to live simply on a smaller income. There's 22 tips there, totally for free, so head on over and check those out. And if you're new on YouTube too, hit the subscribe button, but make sure you tap the bell, because if you hit the bell, that means you get a notification with every video. And we're going to be doing a video, this is a new series, I'm going to talk about zero waste every Thursday from now on. So if you don't want to miss any of those videos, make sure you hit subscribe and tap the bell. All right, all that is out of the way. Let's talk zero waste. So I live in Newcastle, the Newcastle area in Australia. It's in New South Wales, and I needed to go to Sydney for a YouTube creator event, which was very exciting and very fun, and I'll tell you a bit more about that soon. But basically what it meant was I needed to go down the night before and stay overnight, go to the event, and then come home. I didn't have my kids with me, so packing was a lot easier. So I thought, yeah, let's do it zero waste and see how we go. So I caught the train down instead of driving for a number of reasons. One, we save money on petrol. Two, it's better to take public transport when you can, because it means less cars on the road. Three, it's so much more relaxing to catch the train than it is to drive in Sydney, or to drive at all. So on a train trip, you can watch a movie, or you can read a book, or you can have a nap, or you can chill out. So it's better for the person as well as the planet, I find. That's not to say I'll never drive to Sydney. I have another event coming up shortly that I do need to drive to, just for the timing and the purposes of not being able to stay down there overnight. But when I can take public transport, I prefer to, and I'm trying to increase that every year. So yeah, that was the first step, was to take the train instead of driving. The second step was to look at how I was going to pack. So let's look at how I packed. Outfit was easy. I just wanted one carry-on size suitcase. So I used one that I already owned, no need to go and buy a new one. And I just packed basic outfits that I could chop and change. So I have like a plain black dress, I packed a couple of scarves, a cardigan. It didn't matter what the weather was like. I had an option on what to wear. And I packed some nice shoes, and then I wore my flat shoes. So it's not really anything extremely zero waste about what I actually packed in my suitcase. But when you're talking toiletries, here's where I made a couple of changes. So normally I go to a hotel and I use all of the little products that they have in hotels. So the little shampoos and soaps and, you know, coffees and teas and that sort of thing. This time I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to use anything plastic from the hotel, and I really didn't want to use, this is going to sound crazy, I didn't want to use the plastic bag in the rubbish bin. Now, it's a hotel, right? I also didn't want to get in trouble for putting rubbish in a bin without a liner, and I didn't have any paper to make a paper bin liner. So instead, my focus there was to not make rubbish at all. Yeah, that was interesting. All right, so toiletries that I took down with me so that I wouldn't have to use the little tiny hotel ones. Now, this was really, really interesting because I didn't want to pack heaps of stuff to replace everything I would need. So I basically packed 1 bar of soap in a plastic container that I already had at home. So I don't love that it's plastic, but it's not single-use plastic, which is what we're trying to reduce. Okay, so just a simple bar of soap. This was the soap. It's just a generic brand. This was the soap that I used for hand soap in the bathroom. It had to be soap for the shower as well. It was only an overnight stay, so I didn't have to wash my hair or anything like that. If it was a longer stay and I had to wash my hair, I would have just given this a go as well. So I'm kind of glad I didn't have to for my first ever overnight zero waste stay. But yeah, so basic bar of soap in a container that I took down with me. Now, makeup, none of my makeup at the moment is zero waste. And here's my thoughts on that. When you see a lot of people talking zero waste on YouTube or on the internet, on blogs, in the media, you hear a lot of people talking about making their own makeup, right? Mascara, eyeshadow, blush, that sort of thing. I love the idea. I would love to buy zero waste makeup, but I don't want to buy it yet. I need to use up the makeup I've already got, because if I just go and buy a whole bunch of zero waste makeup, this is going to end up in the landfill, right? So even though this is broken and this is almost done, I want to keep using this stuff until it's all gone. Now, I know a lot of zero wasters say, hey, just ditch all of your plastic and go and buy glass containers and tins and that sort of thing. But if you ditch your plastic, you're putting it in landfill. So that totally goes against zero waste for me. So I'm going to use up all of my old makeup and then look for sustainable options when I buy new makeup. So yeah, so basically all the usuals: foundation, concealer, powder, lipstick, mascara. None of that is zero waste yet. I keep getting notifications on my phone, sorry. I know you guys can't see them, but they're blocking the screen and I can't see if you're commenting. All right, so everything like that needs work, but use it up instead of throw it out is my motto at the moment with zero waste makeup. Now, for a toothbrush, I haven't got that with me here, but for my toothbrush, I just took my existing one and I had a little, we already had like a little case to cover the top of the toothbrush to pack, so that was fine. I took my regular size toothpaste with me. We have a spare one at home, so I didn't have to use a hotel one. That was fine. So soap, toothpaste, that's all taken care of. Towels was interesting. I needed to use a towel because I was having a shower and I didn't want to pack my own because towels are reusable, but I did want to save on the washing. So instead of using a hand towel, a shower towel, multiple towels, all I did instead was just focus on using one towel for the shower, and that was a hand towel at the same time, because how dirty is one person really when they step out of the shower? People are clean when they get out of the shower, so yeah. Anyway, I'm a bit rambly when I'm live, aren't I? So that's toiletries. I just kept it really simple. I focused on taking my own soap, taking my own toothpaste, using one towel, and that was it. Yes, I used the toilet paper. I'm not at a bidet or family cloth level yet, but I will keep you posted on that. Now, other stuff in the hotel. So the hotel that I stayed at was like a serviced apartment, right? Not a hotel that had room service. So I had to go to the local shops and buy something to eat for dinner that night. I could have eaten out, and if I did eat out, I would have gone to a restaurant that had real crockery and cutlery instead of disposables. But I had already eaten out for lunch, so I wanted to buy something to eat in the hotel room for dinner. Anyway, oh, by the way, with lunch, it was almost a zero waste win, and then it was a little bit of a fail because I bought a glass bottle of sparkling water to have with my lunch, which came on a real plate with real crockery. And I didn't get a straw, and I didn't use a coaster, and that was fine. And then I didn't drink all of the drink, so I didn't want to waste it. But then I realised I'm not allowed to walk around the streets of Sydney with a glass bottle because that's not very safe. So I had to leave the bottle, and they don't recycle at the restaurant I was at, so that was a bit disappointing. And if it wasn't so heavy, I should have really just drank all my drink and taken it with me, but I don't know, I was travelling by myself, so I was a bit nervous about carrying around a glass bottle. Anyway, so that was a bit of a fail, but the rest of lunch was good. Oh, I didn't tell you in the toiletries, I ran out of deodorant just as I went on this trip, so I couldn't buy another deodorant. But I had some talc powder at home, so I put that in a container like this. My kids have the lid at school right now, so I can't show you the lid, but it has a screw top lid. It's just an existing container that we have at home. Basically, my whole video is I'm using plastic, but it's plastic we already have or have bought pre-loved, not new plastic. But anyway, we can't be perfect. Anyway, so I put some talc powder in this and put the screw-on lid on there, and that was fine. So toiletries, I didn't do deodorant. So does that cover everything? I didn't bother with hairspray, I just had straight hair. I didn't need shampoo or conditioner because I'd done it before I went down there. I used soap, I used my own toothpaste. Yep, that was fine. Okay, so food. So on the way down, I had a drink bottle with water. I have my Keep Cup, and in my Keep Cup, I'm a tea drinker, so I have a single serve little thing of this. This one I bought pre-loved at a salvo shop. It was 20 cents. So you just put a teaspoon of loose tea in here, put it together, drop it in, and add your boiling water. And this cup is a thermos one, so it keeps it hot all day, which is very handy when you're traveling because it also doesn't spill very easily. So if you're thinking of a Keep Cup for travel, go with the thermos style one. I just dropped it on the floor. Sorry. Okay, so for tea, now I didn't know this until this year, but tea bags have plastic in them. So I switched to loose leaf because it was an easy switch. Now that I have a single serve and a teapot at home, I can do loose leaf tea. So I have this little canister that I take to the tea centre at my local shops, and I get it refilled with peppermint tea on a regular basis. It costs like $3 to $5 to fill this whole canister, so it's so much cheaper anyway. And they just fill it right up for me. They don't give it to me in a packet and then I fill the canister. I just fill it at the shop and that's it. So that's really good. But to take this with me, I was worried about it leaking. So I just took one of these Agrina wraps. These replace cling wrap, foil, and baking paper, right? So I took one of these and I wrapped it around. They're quite sticky and stretchy, and I just popped that in my bag like that. Handy, huh? So then I could take loose leaf tea without worrying about it spilling. I had my drink bottle, I had my Keep Cup. Instead of tissues, I took a hanky, by the way. I took a couple of hankies. All right, and then I took this container, which is a vintage Tupperware that I bought, because I'd rather give a home to existing Tupperware and make it useful than just have it end up in landfill. So I don't buy Tupperware new anymore. But I bought this because I thought, you know what, when I go to Woolworths or something when I'm down there and get a snack, I can put nuts or dried fruit in here. That did not work. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. I took some snacks down with me on the train, so I had bananas and, you know, just basic food that I prepared at home. Took that down with me. Once that was gone though, I had to eat other stuff. So I've got my cutlery roll here, so I don't have to worry about using disposables while I'm traveling. It's just regular cutlery from my drawer at home. And this is a sandwich wrap, so if I don't want to wrap the cutlery, I've got extra something to wrap food in. So that was very handy to have. Let's get on to the problem, shall we? The problem was I had to buy something for dinner, and I went to, there was a Woolworths in walking distance. So I went there, and I'm walking around Woolworths thinking, all right, I don't want to use the rubbish bin at the hotel because that has a plastic liner, which means I can't create any rubbish that I can't take home and recycle or compost. So I have to carry around any rubbish with me. And I have to make sure that whatever I carry can then be recycled or composted anyway once I get home, which is then, you know, a 3-hour train trip or a 2-hour train trip away. So I'm walking around Woolworths and I look like a dork because I'm going through every aisle. It's a service department, but it doesn't you know, have tons of cooking appliances, and I didn't want to buy a ton of food that all had plastic packaging and just use it once and then not being able to fit it into my suitcase and take it home, or not be able to keep it refrigerated for the rest of the trip. This was the real life problem that was happening. What do I eat that's easy to prepare, doesn't cost a fortune, and doesn't use a lot of disposable products? So I really struggled there. I was like, okay, well, I could get some soup, but then it came in a plastic bag, like a little Ziplocky type plastic container. And then I thought, well, I'll just get fresh veggies, but then it's really hard to prepare them when you're in a hotel, and I didn't have a lot of time, and I had this terrible vertigo from being on the train, because apparently I'm getting older and you get vertigo and stuff, so I didn't feel like doing a lot of cooking. Anyway, long story short, I look like a crazy person because I'm walking through Woolworths, and every time I pick up a paper package of something, like a cardboard box, I think, oh, that'll be perfect. And then I think, no, it's got plastic inside. So to check if it did have plastic inside, I would be shaking this little, you know, like I went to buy chocolate, and I was like shaking boxes of chocolates to see if it sounded like they had plastic wrapping inside them, and most of them did. So yeah, I look like a dork. Anyway, I finally settled on getting soup. Because you can recycle the cans or containers. I didn't get soup wrapped in plastic, like a plastic bag. I ended up going with, this is not very good nutrition, I went with cup of soup, which comes in a packet, like a cardboard packet, and then has like a little papery, foily, recyclable sachet inside it. So I went with that, and then I had some fruit and some salad veggies with it, so that kind of upped the nutrition part. And then I was thinking, well, what am I going to have with soup? I need something else to beef it up a bit, and I don't really want to buy potatoes and do a lot of cooking in a hotel with those. So I ended up looking around the Woolworths shop, and luckily, because bread comes in plastic packaging, so that's weird. So luckily, oh, my friend's here. I'm just filming a live video, but I'm almost done. I won't be long. So I'm walking around Woolworths thinking, what am I going to get, like bread and that sort of thing for breakfast and the rest of my dinner. And I went to the bakery section at the back, and they have like this cupboard that you open, like a glass cupboard that you open, and you can take 1 or 2 bread rolls with tongs and put them in a paper bag, which was awesome. So I got 2 bread rolls, and I put them in the paper bag. I only used 1 paper bag. And then I ended up buying 2 bread rolls, a packet of cup of soup, chicken noodle, which helped with the vertigo, which makes you feel a bit yucky. I did buy chocolate, but I bought a chocolate, like a big bar of chocolate that came in cardboard with foil inside it to wrap the chocolate. So you can recycle foil if you scrunch it up into a ball. So I did that. So, and then I totally caved and I bought Doritos, which you can recycle the package of, but you can't stick it in your recycling bin at home. You have to take it into a Coles nearby and put it in the red cycle bin. Anyway, so I did that. I was pretty proud of myself because I could do something with all of the rubbish that I created. So that was good. And I just had to make sure that the fruit and the salad stuff I bought, I didn't put it in a plastic bag, and I didn't buy the packaged options. I bought the naked ones. So that was that. So I still had rubbish, right? I still had packets and cardboard containers and stuff like that. So that had to get packed into this little bag that I was holding all my food and my cutlery roll and my tea in, and that had this container. So when I ate my banana, I thought, well, I don't want to just throw that in here. So what am I going to do? So I ended up using this container as a little travel compost, which actually worked out really well. Really, really well. So I was proud of myself there. But it was only one night, thank goodness, because if it was a week, I would have had way too much compost in this tiny little container to deal with. So the hotel didn't have recycling or compost or anything like that, which made me think, imagine if hotels started to do that. That would be so powerful. Okay, I would totally book those hotels over any others. Anyway, so the next day I go to the YouTube event, and it was awesome. It was a really good event. It was great for creators. It was really good quality stuff, and it got me really motivated to do YouTube, which is also why I'm here talking about zero waste with you guys today on YouTube. It was a great event, and it was catered. So here I am at this catered event, and what I loved about the lunch was it came in cardboard packaging. So it was single serves, which wasn't amazing. You know, every sandwich and every cake for dessert had its own little cardboard, what's it called, like a little tray that it was in. So that wasn't great. They could have stuck it on a really big platter, but at least it was something I could take home and recycle. And the cutlery was bamboo, so I had my cutlery roll and I just grabbed one and started using the bamboo cutlery. So I'm a dork and I completely forgot that I had that, so that was a fail. But I guess they would have thrown that out anyway if I didn't use it. So I used the bamboo stuff. I took that home to throw in the compost. And I couldn't finish my lunch. And here's where things got really, really awkward. So I'm quite an introvert and I didn't know anybody at this event. So I'm really bad at making friends at events. So I basically just looked like this weirdo who was too scared to talk to anybody, who couldn't finish her lunch and then scraped the leftovers into her container. I probably looked so crazy. I'm hoping some of the people at the event knew why I was doing it. But yeah, to a brand new person who has no zero waste focus, it probably looked like I was scraping my leftovers in a container to take them home, except that it still had a rotten banana peel down the bottom that was visible. So I probably looked really crazy. But you know what? Yes, it was a little awkward, but it wasn't difficult. So then I go and I hop on the train home and I chill out and I relax and I had my rubbish with me, but then I got home and I recycled and I composted it and it was fine. So I guess we're coming to the end of my long rambly story. I can't say it was a complete zero waste win. I can say it was a real eye-opening experience. Like really eye-opening. All of these things that I had never thought of before in terms of reducing my waste, you know, they just kept popping up. They could, it would have cost me a fortune to eat out every meal while I was gone. So I was glad to have the Woolworths nearby. But boy, was it difficult to find something that just one person could eat with minimal preparation, that had minimal packaging or no plastic packaging. That was really difficult. But I got there. So I guess really to sum up, give it a try. Next time you travel, see how little waste you can create. Toy with the idea of taking some packaging and an extra little bag or something so that you can bring your rubbish home with you, or carry it around until you find a recycling or a compost option. If I was near a big shopping centre, I probably would have gone into the food court to see if they had a recycle and a compost option in their bins, but I wasn't near a big shopping centre, so I basically had to carry everything around with me. But yeah, it was a lovely trip. I did well compared to other travel that I've done in the past. I'm proud of myself and I'm willing to give it another go in the future. And you know what? If this video inspires just one person to do the same, then I'm very, very excited about that idea. So I'm going to go. That was my long rambly story. We talked about hotel stays, toiletries, food options with zero waste when you're doing travel. If there's one thing that you do if you want to travel and you want to reduce your waste a little bit, just remember to, you know, do one little thing. Take public transport instead of driving, or take your snacks with you instead of buying them when you're out and about, or, you know, make sure the restaurant that you eat at has, you know, good plates and silverware rather than disposable options. And then, you know what, if everybody did that, we would be making huge changes. Take a reusable shopping bag with you. I took a little foldable one when I went to Woolworths, so I didn't have to take a plastic bag back to the hotel with me. So yeah, just make a little change and you'll be fine. So I hope this video hasn't been too awkward for you. I know it's a long one. If you like zero waste videos and you've made it this far and you have hit the subscribe button, then I will see you next week with another video. Okay, bye.